time you stepped out of Durgan's battery and into the new snow outside, word had already spread of strange lights rising from the fortress and energy crackling in the sky. The survivors of Stalwart flocked to Durgan's battery, their steps hastened by the promise of peace and prosperity at last. They mended their walls, gathered their strength, and prepared their town for the new opportunities that were sure to come. And with the voices of Durgan's battery silent at last, none heard the distant groan of something stirring among the peaks, as massive and relentless as an avalanche.
You really did it! I mean, people have always come through here, talking about opening the battery, claiming the White Forge, all that. But I didn't think anyone would ever really manage it. I told Renengild I'd be willing to help with getting the mines back in order. You know, do my part. Figure we can turn this place around, now that you've laid the foundation.
Been 200 years since folks set foot in Durgan's battery. Now you've cracked the place wide open, and with quite the display. Thanks to your help, we just might pull through. You've done a lot.
Sorry, I was daydreaming, I guess. I was actually reading this, but... So what happens now for Stalwart? Now it's up to us to use this opportunity to pull ourselves back together. I'm still not pleased about having Berrigan's clan a stone throw from our gates, but I'll have to hope that your deal with her holds. We'll just have to hope Tenia pushes along a few more years. She once knew a lot about mining, but she's starting to go. To be honest, I didn't really think anyone would open up the battery, just gave folks something to hope for. But I'm starting to hope the White Forge will turn things around for us if we aren't able to make use of it before some dirty and noble takes a claim out here.
What's on your mind?
Alright, now let's talk to this guy.
You did right in parlaying with Berrigan. Don't know that anyone else here is gonna see it that way.
Yeah, alright.
Whoa. My hands do not look like that. Whoa.
Got to speak up?
Effigy's eyes! It looks at me!
Ah!
Oh, here's the glitch. Yeah, I'll stay away from that.
Thanks again. I'll be gone just as soon as the weather clears.
Got rid of that little fella, eh? Take this with my thanks. Anyway, what brings you back?
Huh, that's what I get for asking directions in the middle of nowhere.
I hope you've had some luck.
Alright, let's see. I found your chests. They were filled only with rocks. Bandits had this notebook. It belonged to gift bearer. Ixili, our dear friend, no longer walks among us. She closes the notebook but remains fixed on its covers. Her companion exchanges their surprised, rapt glances one after their lower hands in consternation. The life of a gift bearer is dangerous. We knew that bandits were lying ambushes on the roads and mountains, but I didn't. Priest clenched her hands around the notebook. This, she indicates, I would like to give this to Ixili's brother. Her eyes shimmer. I understand. Do you must. Of course. My condolences too. I found it. I'll keep it. I think Adre would want you to leave this past behind. I don't remember the thing. And so you'll have it then. Priest Ferdinand as you toss the notebook back into without your cart. Such as the will order. Now, is there anything else? Find the chest. I see. No use in keeping this charade any longer, is there? Her group springs into action, sounds it. Dang. But we shouldn't act so rashly. She holds up another hand. The thieves keep their weapons pointed at you. We've been pretending, yes, but this is it so different from what Andorra's priests do. Villagers and travelers give us things they want to forget. We'd make them disappear. Isn't that the same thing? We're not murderers. We prefer to be far away from this cursed place if we can. Why make a bloody mess out of this? I'm willing to help you look the other way. You propose. I don't want anything with you. I just don't. But I won't throw you to those villagers either. Not a chance. I'll let the villagers decide what to do with you. Stiffens hard. Alright, there we go. Attack! There we go. As it has twice before, your vision blurs and fades to black. When it returns, you find yourself on your knees, a shattered sword in your hand, and broken, battered helm in front of your helm. You can feel blood pouring down one side of your face, and you know for certain that you'll never see out of your left eye again. Arrayed around you is a circle after another warrior, some from your tribe, the rest from enemy. They watch the combat in silence. You're gonna die, old man. Your opponent is brash, but young and strong. You still think single combat was a good idea? You do. Last winter's famine took a heavy toll on your tribe. Your warriors were in no shape to fend off an all-out attack from its enemies. Single combat was the tribe's only hope, but not if you lose. Once again, your world stops and the memory trail waiting your guidance. Pretend to pass out. Take him down with you. Don't have a clue. Pretend to pass out. Force yourself to your feet and toss away your broken blade. Summoning the last reserve yonder, you charge your opponent. He's ready for you. Blade bites deep into your side. Mortal blow. He laughs, but the last laugh is yours. You are older and you are slower, but you're still strong. You seize the young warrior's head. With a roar of triumph, snap his neck and drop his corpse into the mud. Damn! You remain standing, a sheer willpower keeping you up until you're certain that you are the undisputed winner of the combat. It's not until the last of the enemy warriors have left your village that you're allowed yourself to collapse. The last thing you ever remember is the hands on your people reaching out to catch you. Yes, it's all coming back. My sister, my reign, the end. Oh, Garodh looks at his own spectral form with a sad surprise and is watching it begin to fade. But I only just seen it. There's been so little time to know what to make of it all. Farewell, Garodh. So I'm going to get anything out of this, or yes, yes. He says, "Will has no patience. It seems. I entrust my helm to you here." That's funny. All right. It's him, Harmech. I remember the weak chin and those knobbly knees. Patience.
How goes?
How goes it? The elder man emerges with a clearing, freezing, staring at the Devil of Caroc. For an elf, he's tall and rainy, blah, blah, blah. The others with him turn, glaring and gapping at the bronze golem.
Auroch's shadow. What's that wicked thing doing here?
Why are you so nervous? We're saving your sorry village. She's my ally. We're just exploring. Looking for you. Why is there nervous?
It's a killer! Look, we don't want no trouble. Just trying to do our work.
Do our work. Beads of sweat formed on his forehead despite the chilly air.
We'd be much obliged if you'd leave us be. And take that thing with you.
Right. Enough. 'Cause Enough. What do you see? Why is she asking? Is that the man who torch does? Devil sways at her feet, her whole body moving around the axis of her knuckles. Though starting to use attention. Concentrated spear of essence is focused on Harmon. Read Harmon's full. Do you remember the village of Cold Morn?
Everyone does. Let the raid Sarens into the Deerwood. What's that got to do with anything?
What are you dying for? See what's written in the bastard's soul? He steps away from you, but your awareness reaches through his trembling skin and the feeble essence, resistance of his fear. You see memories, snow-shrouded forest partitioned by fallen pines and firs, days measured by a steady swing of your axe. There are other moments too, recollections of flare-ups like a hearse welcoming fire. There are children, spry and lanky like you, but still full of rowdy energy of youth. Together you scattered winter bloom petals on a grave. Reach deep into his soul. Years roll back. A torch in your left hand bathes your face and shoulder in heat. All around you are other men and women holding their torches, and the mountain air is acrid with stench of smoke and sweat. Rage billows off of the others. It's been a fever in your blood for days now, exhausting you, invigorating you in equal measure. You were the edge of the town, cold morn, it's hours yet before dawn, but the commotion has started to waken the village. Candlelight ignites behind frost-crusted windows, and haunted faces peer out from you from the glass as you begin to doubt yourself. Just then a door slams. A villager comes racing through the streets, kicking out snow. With his stark white face and pale hair, he looks almost like a ghost. The line of torchbearers ripples as he gets closer. He picks up speed, but nobody moves towards him. You imagine him breaking through the row, shattering your ranks like a bad dream that brought you all here. You imagine waking up in your bed, the heat from your torch, nothing more than the warmth of your wife sleeping next to you. Instead of the villager reaches the row of torchbearers a stone's throw away from you. A woman advances from the line and buries her dagger into his neck. The rest of your fellows shout, rage, memory, and bloodthirsty triumph boil over you. You all came with a purpose. You came to bring justice to the traitors of Cold Morn. The next few hours are painted in colors more vivid than life. You put your torch to anything that stands and your sword to anyone who runs. It is as if Magranth herself whispers in your ear and guides your hand. Exhaustion has almost cooled your rage when you spy a house on the edge of the town, one of the only buildings that hasn't been burned. It's flanked by knotty spruce trees, and the door is painted yellow, the bloom of sunrise, the hue of your son's hair, the color of cowardice. That's an interesting one. Just then, someone barrels into you from behind. It's a man, someone you remember from the journey to Cold Morn, although you don't recall his name. He snarls at you, mad with indiscriminate rage. It occurs to you that he's mistaken you for one of the villagers. You smash the window and hurl your torch inside. The other man has turned away. You think you hear a child shriek from within the house, but it's possible to tell with the roar of the riot. Harmonic shivers as you pull away from the memory. His eyes are wide with guilt and fear. Spit it out, Aaron. What do you see? He's not responsible for what happened to your family. Burn down your house? It's not that simple. Interesting. Don't give me that greasy horseshit. You looked into the squalid dregs of his soul. Tell me what you saw. You burned down your house. It's not responsible for what happened to your family. But I remember him. How can you be so sure? I looked into his soul. First you asked for your help, now you doubt me. You always knew this was a long shot. Let it go. As she looks back to you, despair rises within her throat. Questions rebel, burst into essence. Finally, the heat patterns fade from her chest plate, and her body surrenders into its tension. What a waste. Alright. So that's that one. There's no exit? What is this?
Watch yourself on the mountain. I see. Is it done? Is he dead? Then it is done at last. Thank you, stranger. I can't say I ever hoped this day would come, but it was inevitable.
The shapeshifter, did you know him?
He was my son. Once.
Whoa. You sent me to kill your son? I'm sorry, I wouldn't have gone through that. He was long gone. If there's any way to get through to him, it would have found it by now.
Difficult as it must have been, you did what you had to. You've brought me what peace the gods will allow me. This served me well in my younger days, and I hope that it will do the same for you.
Back to work, everyone. Now No we can time for all dally. free ourselves from vanity. That was way too much Blackson.
Almost 15 years I've been looking for him. Now I'd rather we never cross tracks.
Why? We should go back and kill him anyway. If it makes you feel better. But you have more certainty now. Surely that's better. You spared him. You should feel good about that.
Used to be I had something to hunger for. Stung at me night and day, but at least it was something. Now there's nothing. Not even that burn of wanting something. Just that look on his face. Horror? Fear? No. After Cold Morn, folk used to leer at my burns, full of disgust. Or they'd realize who I was, and then it was the terror. Maybe hate. But this... the way Harmka looked at me. The way I've seen near everyone but you and Galvino look at me. All it did was remind me that this is a madman's fever dream. Like a prison, but no, because in a prison, you lay your head down and you feel the straw soft beneath you. Your flesh prickling in the cold, black bread crumbling on your tongue.
After 13 years, can you get used to it? Man, your body has unique strengths and advantages too. Come now, can't really be bad as that. Pain and pleasure are distractions. You're lucky to avoid them. You're right. It sounds awful. Body is some unique. Oh man, it's just calling again. Fucking A. Alright. Positive. Jeez. Strengths and advantages.
I'd trade them all if I could feel the snow cold around my ankles. I still dream I'm folk. I wake up some mornings wondering why I can't feel the floor beneath me, thinking I must have fallen and gone crippled. But then I lift my head, see a bronze corpse stretching out in front of me.
I'm sorry you have to go through that.
It's not pity I want, it's a choice. I dreamed too of what Galvino did that night. Those moments. I'd endure another cold morn if it'd spare me this fate.
What happened exactly?
It was after I got caught in Stalwart. They'd locked me in a little house by me and the old mayor and his cronies. When a crowd of them came for me in the dark of night, I was only surprised it had taken them so long. Only they didn't march me to no gallows. No. They snuck me to another house on the edge of town, real sneaky-like. That's where I met Galvino.
Kevin was living still at the time.
True enough. This was before the locals gave him the boot. Still weren't a popular fellow. He was fiddling with some machinery in his workshop. Had his sleeves rolled up even though it was cold enough to see your breath. Never actually looked at me until he started fitting some copper helmet over my... By that time, the mayor's goons had me trussed up good and tight. Galvino was having himself a grand time barking orders at that lot.
I think I see where this is going. What did the mayor have to do with this? No.
So while Galvino's fastening that helmet over my head and them copper bands around my arms, I'm starting to look at his contraption. And that's when I see it. It's this metal suit strapped into the machine just like me. A cold, dead-eyed thing, all done up with fancy carvings and such.
Did you know what they intended? You should have thought.
You think I didn't? I start asking Galvino and the rest of them what's going on. But they're too busy to... Then suddenly, they're waiting, staring at me with that fixed, horrified look. But they ain't watching me. They're watching for something to happen. Galvino tells the woman nearest the machine to flip the handle. And then, just pain. Being torn apart every which way, feeling my soul peeled from my body. By the time I came to, I couldn't feel a thing. Just this dull, distant sort of ache.
I heard the old man crackling and chattering. When I saw him looming over me, looking down at me with hungry eyes, I tried to scream, tried to swing at him.
I think that was when I knew.
That's how you ended up here. How could anyone put another person in something so terrible?
I reckon I'm the wrong person for that sort of question. But if it cools your conscience, Galvino didn't get off easy. The rest of Stalwart didn't take kindly to having a killer in their midst, nor to seeing their mayor and the ornery Valians strike a secret deal. They drove Galvino out, destroyed a fortune in machinery, and wrote a letter to the Academy in Salona, ruining what was left. Still, he's lucky he didn't get up. The old mayor fled too, and Stalwart's been as snug and cheery as ever. You're better company than Galvino. Been a while since I were out in the world. Guess I'm keen on seeing more of it. Anyways, I've been wondering about that fortress. Near everyone thought it'd have just the thing they need. Those villagers wanted to fix up their brook downtown. Galvino always thought it carried some great secret of animancin'. And all them adventurers came looking for fancy gear. I don't know. Something to help me feel. Or forget. I just figured, with those dwarves being expert smiths and all, maybe they had something to unmake me. Put me back into my body. You got a real knack for finding the upside.